the closing bell on Wall Street, and that means it's time for the daily closing bell report. And joining us now is Jeff Yastine, editor of Newsmax's Financial Intelligence Report newsletter. Jeff, I think I have an inkling that all the numbers were good today.
Yeah, it's one of those days where we had some data that came out, industrial production, which was actually a decline, and one of the larger ones, the first quarterly decline in quite a while. But at the same time, I think the market's taking it in that sort of bad news is good news thing.
So what do we have? We have all green arrows to show us, right?
Exactly. We have the Dow up 75 points today. The Nasdaq finished higher by 33. The S&P 500 finished up by 10.
All right. So talk about the industrial output going down in March.
Yeah, the industrial production declined in March, and you put March, February, and January together, first quarterly decline in quite a period of time. But Wall Street is looking at it as, okay, that means the Federal Reserve is going to stay on the sidelines longer. At least that's the general take on it. And so they look at it as a bullish standpoint. In addition, we had oil up today. It hit around $55 a barrel, and that is also being taken as a bullish sign.
Yeah, even though the inventories of oil, as they have been doing for quite some time, rose. They rose, I believe, at a lower than expected rate, and that's why one of the reasons you saw the price of oil go up?
Yeah, and this is, again, it's a kind of a game that Wall Street plays as far as expectations. They expected a certain level. It still rose, but at less than that expected level, so therefore that's a good thing. One other thing we should mention, the International Energy Agency said that they expect to see about a 60% increase in energy demand, as I guess they expect China and the European economies to start moving into a higher gear. So that was also underpinning the rise in oil today.
All right, so we've gone from $44 a barrel up to about $55 today. Can we expect it to keep going up incrementally, or have we reached the bottom or not?
That is the trillion-dollar question. I certainly don't know it. I think it's like this clash of titans coming. The oil guys are out there. They're still pumping as much as they possibly can. And, whether this economic growth, global economic growth, resurrecting itself is the real thing or just a mirage, that's where it's all coming down to. This whole thing with oil from this price game we've talked about, it could just be what in the traders call a dead cat bounce before we get another decline. We just don't know.
All right, what's going on with Google? I know that they're in some trouble with the European Union filing charges against them. What's it all about?
Yeah, the bureaucrats in the European Union, their antitrust regulators have Google in their target sites, and what they're looking to do is they are bringing an antitrust lawsuit against Google, claiming that Google is favoring their own searches over those of the organic search results that come out from the likes of other companies that are popular on the web. So this is something that's important. It could mean fines, etc., for Google going forward. And there's a lot of comparisons being made to Google now versus Microsoft back in the mid-90s. If you remember that time, they also ran afoul of antitrust regulators in Europe, as well as the famous case here in the United States. And really, Microsoft was never the same company afterward, because they always have to then operate with one eye on the government,
right.
And is what they're doing considered a bad thing? It might mean billions more in fines.
Well, all they got to do is get themselves a Major League Baseball antitrust exemption, and then they can just do whatever the heck they want. All right, thank you very much, Jeff. Jeff Yastine, ladies and gentlemen. We'll speak to you tomorrow. And, of course, folks, you can find out more about the financial news that you need and want by going to Newsmax.com. That's all you got to do, Newsmax.com. Click on the finance button. It's at the very top of the page, and there it is. Folks, it is full of information. Newsmax.com, finance button, top of the page. Up next, right here on the Steve Malzberg Show, it's Gimme 5. Don't miss it.